Hyperdimension Neptunia is a 2010 role-playing video game developed by Idea Factory. Like most modern turn-based role-playing games, the dungeons feature random encounters, treasure chests, and various obstacles. Hyperdimension Neptunia MK2 was released in 2011. The sequel contains both new and returning characters, and the gameplay has been updated so as to remove the random encounter feature. New maps and a brand new world feature as well, and the cutscenes have been upgraded. Hyperdimension Neptunia Victory was released in 2012. Also included is the X-Drive gauge, which fills up by the number of hits in a combo. This gauge can be expanded upon 3 times for a total of 4 gauges. When the gauge is full, characters can utilize an X-Drive. Hyperdimension Neptunia Producing Perfection is a 2013 life simulation and rhythm video game developed by Compile Heart and Tamsoft. Players have to get shares back by earning stage points during live performances. Each show, the number of fans and haters will change depending on the show. Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1 is a full recreation of the original Hyperdimension Neptunia, bringing with it a very different take on the original core scenario, optimized performance, reworked script and voice acting, and an all-new feature dubbed the Remake System, which unlocks special game modifications. Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 2, Sisters Generation was released in 2014, Rebirth 2 brings a new selection of playable characters. In addition to most of the original NK cast, the game also features the characters representing game. Hyperdevotion Noire, Goddess Black Heart is a 2014 tactical role-playing game developed by Compile Heart and Sting Entertainment. The game features chibi versions of the original Hyperdimension Neptunia characters, which battle against enemies on a tactical grid map. Hyperdimension Neptunia U, Action Unleashed is a hack-and-slash video game developed by Compile Heart and Tamsoft. Even in this world, the seeds of evil don't die out, and since brutal enemies, along with ferocious monsters that appeared were quickly defeated by the collaboration between the CPUs and the CPU candidates. Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 3, V Generation was released in 2014. The new dimension she arrives in looks familiar, but this gummy-industry has a nostalgic 80s feel to it. She also learns upon her arrival that a mysterious group called the Seven Sages. Megadimension Neptunia VII, as released in 2015, the gameplay places strong emphasis on the positioning of characters. Each goddess character has a next form, which is an additional transformation phase on top of their existing goddess transformations. Superdimension Neptune vs Sega Hard Girls is a crossover game between the Hyperdimension Neptunia and Sega Hard Girls franchises developed by Filistella for the PlayStation Vita. The adventure takes place across 4 different eras: the classical-themed Mega Drive era, the medieval-themed Sega Saturn era. Cyberdimension Neptunia for Goddesses Online is a 2017 Japanese action-adventure game developed by Compile Heart and Tamsoft. Most of the game takes place inside For Goddesses Online, a recurring fictional multiplayer online role-playing game that has been referenced throughout the series. Neptunia and Friends was released in 2017. Users can play a game of blind bluff poker with their current character. In this game, both players draw 1 card and place it on their forehead so their opponent can see it. Players can then bet the amount of chips they have if they have the highest card. Megadimension Neptunia VIIR, a remake of the game that changes the battle system and adds PlayStation VIIR functionality. In addition to the story are the VIIR events that can be unlocked where the main 4 goddesses visit the player and spends time talking about themselves. Super Neptunia RPG is a side-scrolling role-playing video game developed by Artisan Studios. In the game, Neptune, Noire, Blank, and Vert, all suffering from amnesia, oppose Bombix Mori, a group that forces citizens to create 2D video games while forbidding other games. Neptunia Shooter is a 2019 2D shoot 'em up developed by Idea Factory International. Armed to the teeth, Players begin as Neptune in an unworldly 8-bit space dimension ravaged by creatures who burst endless waves of bullets. Neptunia Virtual Stars is an action RPG coinciding with the 10th anniversary of the Neptunia series. This game follows the CPUs as virtual idols teaming up with me and you of Mutual to save Planet Emote from the invaders known as Antis. This game guest stars actual virtual YouTubers. Neptunia Reverse is a definitive remake of Hyperdimension Neptunia coinciding with the 10th anniversary of the Hyperdimension Neptunia series. A range mode allows players to play the game with 27 playable characters from the start and a redesigned balance. Neptunia x Senran Kagura Ninja Wars is a 2021 crossover game between the Hyperdimension Neptunia and Senran Kagura franchises. Ninja art skills are activated via the stamina gauge. When the screen slows while selecting a skill in battle, players can select the skill to use with ease. Dimension Tripper Neptune Top NEP is a 2022 arcade-style third-person rail shooter with enemies and obstacles thrown at players and a unique boss at the end of each level. If the player collects enough coins to fill up the coin gauge, they will unlock a wingmate to assist the player for a limited time. Neptunia Sisters vs. Sisters was released in 2022. This game follows Nepgear and the goddess candidates waking up to a gamindustry 2 years after the trendy outbreaks terrorized the four nations. This game takes place with gamindustry left in ruins by the trendy outbreaks. Neptunia Game Maker R Evolution was released in 2023. This game follows the older Neptune being tasked with reviving a fallen game maker with the help of 3 goddesses who had been defeated in the race to win the market share of game sales. This game takes place in an alternate gamindustry where game makers rule the world and battle for shares and supremacy.